Hello and welcome to Pregnancy and Postpartum TV. Today I'm going to be doing an easy and gentle yoga class specifically designed for when you're in your first trimester of pregnancy and you're experiencing nausea or morning sickness. I know how terrible it can be. And so the poses are designed to help you get some relief and feel better. As well as I'm going to talk about some natural nutrition remedies to help feel better and some acupressure points that we're going to practice with some of our poses to hopefully bring you some relief. But don't worry, you won't have to scribble everything down. If you go down to the description box, I will write all of the strategies below there where you can just copy and paste anything that you find helpful. And of course, always remember to check with your doctor before starting a new exercise routine, and we'll get started. So I am going to use a block today, but if you don't have a block, you could grab a pillow and you could just as easily use that. All right, so we are going to get started by lying down on our back because you're probably feeling terrible, and that's a good place to start. So just get down gently as your belly grows. You're going to want to practice getting down on your side safely and also after you have your baby so you don't separate your muscles and cause diastasis recti. So just find a comfortable place on the ground and you can place your hand on your belly, connect with your baby, and we're going to take a couple of breaths here. So when you get really tired, it can also make you feel more nauseated. I'm not sure if you've experienced that, but when I got tired, I just felt so much worse. And also when you hold on to tension and you don't breathe properly. So you want to practice deep belly breaths. Inhale in and let your belly expand. And exhale. Inhale in. And we'll take one more breath. And you can just move around on the ground, whatever feels good. Lengthen out your arms, spread your toes. And we're going to do the first acupressure point here. So how you find it, I'm going to lift up my shirt here so you can see. So place your finger and your thumb on either sides of your belly button, and then just walk your hands up until you feel the bony protrusion here between your ribs, your xiphoid process, and you can place your hands on either side of that and gently massage it up and down. And this pressure point is helpful with relieving nausea. So just continue to breathe gently. You can close your eyes and massage right there. Almost feel like you're breathing out the nausea. Good. So if you want to, you can go back and do any of the pressure points anytime that we've talked about. And now we're going to bring one foot up, place it in figure 4 stretch, and you can bring the other leg up and grab behind your leg and just stretch gently. If you want to rock back and forth, we're just doing some gentle movement to get our body moving and help the nausea go away. If it feels good, you could circle your ankles. Remember to keep breathing, let go of any tension. So one of the most helpful things that I found for morning sickness was to never let myself get hungry. And so we want to keep our blood sugar level stable. And I would actually get up I would set my alarm for about 30 minutes before I had to get up and have a little snack by my bedside and have that sort of bland snack. Maybe some crackers or something like that or a piece of fruit before I got up, and this would help me feel not quite so nauseous when I got up. And then make sure that I was eating regularly throughout the day. Even if you feel a little nauseous, I try not to skip a meal or a snack, or else it just sort of snowballs and gets a lot worse. Also, to keep your blood sugar stable, including protein foods, So this could be things like eggs or egg whites, or chicken is sort of a bland protein that you could include. Any beans, or if you're having a smoothie, some protein powder in there. So we'll just switch to the other side. And then also complex carbohydrates rather than sort of refined carbohydrates, like things like white bread or sugar are going to make our blood sugars increase and then drop, which can also cause nausea. And just rock back and forth however feels good. All right, so we'll bring our feet down and we'll just do some movements in bridge pose. So you can either place your hands on the ground, or when you lift your hips up, if you want to clasp your hands underneath and roll your shoulders underneath your body, you can do that. And then we'll release down and up, down and up, using your thigh muscles. Continue to breathe. Good. And we'll do a couple more here. And come down and bring your legs in and just rock it out. So the other thing I found helpful was, which you're probably doing naturally, or of being aware of the foods that cause a reaction or nausea and avoiding them. And it might not be foods actually. So I found that leather really made me nauseous, or flowers made me nauseous. But a lot of people find fish makes them not feel good, or the cruciferous vegetables like broccoli or Brussels sprouts. You might want to stay away from those. And I'm not telling you not to have them, but if they're making you feel nauseous, then it might just be a time to stay away from them. And we'll bring our feet up into happy baby pose. And again, just rock back and forth, whatever feels good. Take some deep breaths and bring them down again. And we're going to come on our side and come up into a squatting position. So just find your way here. So if you wanted to, you could place blocks or a pillow or a rolled up yoga mat underneath your heels, or if you're able to, put your heels on the ground. That's absolutely fine. But in my prenatal yoga class, I always like to do squats, as it really opens up the hips and helps prepare for labor. So we want to start doing this early on and throughout our labor. I also have a complete guide and ebook on how to have less pain in labor and all the tools and strategies. So you can find that in the description box below as well. Take a breath here. So while we want to avoid the foods that trigger nausea, on the other hand, the foods that are tolerated the best tend to be the bland foods. Rice is probably one of the most tolerated foods, as well as fruit has sort of a mild, pleasant flavor as well. Oats, toast, crackers all tend to be tolerated fairly well as the cooked vegetables. So of course not the broccoli and Brussels sprouts, but things like carrots or squash that are cooked tend to be tolerated a little bit better. In your first trimester, especially if you prepared for your pregnancy and built up your nutrition stores, you probably don't have to worry too much about, of course you want to try and eat as healthy as you can, but your body has that nutrition store and your baby will take what it needs. So you're really trying to do your best, but just make it through the nausea. I know that it's really hard. In my first trimester, I found it really hard to eat vegetables, but things like squash and the carrots were a little bit easier to tolerate than some of the stronger flavored vegetables. Soups also, or smoothies, you can sneak some nutrients into those. Bone broth soups sometimes can be tolerated well. All right, so now we're going to move down into a seated pose and warm up our shoulders and our neck. And again, move with our breath, letting go of any tension. And so we'll round our back and exhale, and then inhale, open up, feel the stretch through your shoulders, and Inhale. Good. And one more exhale, and you can roll out the wrists, and if it feels good, place them on the ground, stretch them out however it feels good. Sometimes also with pregnancy, women will get carpal tunnel or sort of strain in the wrist, and so you want to keep them nice and loose and moving lots. And from here, we're going to move on to all fours. And we'll do some easy cat and cow with our breath. Exhale, rounding out. And inhale. Just moving however feels good. And coming to a neutral spine and doing some hip circles. And again, as your pregnancy progresses, this is one of favorite poses for pregnancy, as all the relaxin hormone is shifting and opening up your hips, so this can feel really good. So just go as small or as big as feels good for you, and when you're ready, you can move to the other side. Remembering to breathe. And when you're done, coming back and relaxing into child's pose. Placing your forehead on the ground, fully relaxing. You can bring your hands either in front or beside you, whatever is more comfortable. And take some deep breaths. Walking your hands in slowly and coming back up onto all knees. We'll move into dog bird, so we can stretch out our opposite arm and leg. And exhale, bring it in, and we'll do 5 on each side. Deep belly breaths. Letting go of any tension. If you need to take a break and lay down on your left-hand side, which can be helpful, you can do that as well. And we'll do one more. And moving to the other side. Great job. And last one. Great job. So now we'll come back into a seated position. So just roll over, and we're going to do a gentle forward fold, but we're going to do it in a really relaxing way. And we're going to use our third eye pressure point to relieve nausea. So you can bend your knees here, and this is not a hamstring stretch. And you can either put your hands down here or underneath. And exhale, rounding out your back and taking your third eye down to one of your kneecaps, or if you want to grab a pillow or a block, you could be here, you could be here, wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to stay right here. And hands can be here, and we'll just take a couple of relaxing breaths. Breathing out the nausea. So anti-nausea foods that are great are ginger and peppermint. These are foods that research has shown to help relieve nausea. And so real ginger, not in ginger ale, but you could put either chunks of ginger in hot water to make ginger tea, or you can buy ginger tea, or you can make peppermint tea, peppermint candies every now and again, but you don't want to have too much sugar. Peppermint gum. You could make a chocolate peppermint smoothie, but those foods tend to be helpful in relieving nausea. And when you're ready, slowly coming out of the pose. Good. And we'll move into a wide leg forward fold. So I'm just going to shift around here, and just again, wherever is comfortable, you might be here, you might be further apart, and give yourself a little bit of a boost. And as we do this pose, we're going to find our pressure point on our wrist. So also the other thing you could do is get the wristbands for anti-nausea. So you're going to look between the two tendons here where the vein crosses, and you can place your finger right where the vein crosses, and again relaxing, and you can pulse pressure right on that point. You can close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and again you could do this while you're lying in your bed before you get up in the morning to help relieve nausea before you get up. Or if you're feeling sick throughout the day, relax, use some of the pressure points. And if you wanted to let go and walk forward and relax, you can, or feel free to stay up. And if you're down, walking back up again, and we'll take our feet into Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose, and open your feet like a book, sit up nice and straight, and you can bend forward. You can give your feet a massage if that feels good as well. So for essential oils to help relieve nausea, there's 4 essential oils that can be helpful. So chamomile, lavender, ginger, and peppermint. And so you could use these in a diffuser, or if you know how to dilute it, you could put them on the back of your neck or on your chest. And coming up, and we'll take our knees up a little bit and just put some gentle pressure, and then we'll release that down and just let them relax a little bit. Sit up a little bit straighter, and good. So now we're going to move back onto the ground. We just have a couple more poses. We're going to do reclining twist. Again, getting down nice and safe on your side, straightening one leg out, bringing up one leg in, and you can do some hip circles, opening up your hips and bringing it into your body. So there's a couple different options actually. You can let both legs flop over to the side and look out, or if you're looking for a deeper stretch, keep it lengthened, and gentle reclining twist. So this is actually a pose that as you get further along in your pregnancy, you won't want to do because it can pull the muscles apart and cause diastasis recti. And inhale, coming back up to a centered position. Switch legs if your one leg is down, and twisting over to the other side. And coming back up, giving your knees a hug, rocking back and forth. Now we're going to move into our very last pose, Savasana. So you can do it, the traditional Savasana, on your back in your first trimester. However, lying on your left hand side can also be helpful for nausea. I'm going to grab a pillow here for my knee and get nice and comfy. You could also grab a pillow for under your head, or you could just lay it on your arm and get nice and comfy. You can place your hand on your belly, connect with your baby. And our affirmation today will be just knowing that even though you feel terrible and you feel sick, it is the best reason to feel terrible and sick. And it just means that the HCG hormone, the pregnancy hormones, the levels are high and supporting your healthy pregnancy. So even though you feel sick, your body is strong and healthy and providing all the health and nutrition that your baby needs. Scan your body, relax each part of your body, relax your feet and your legs, your belly, relax the muscles of your face. And when you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers and your toes, or you can just press pause and stay here. But when you're ready, coming up to a seated position. And I know that I didn't cover all the strategies. If you go down to the description box, there's more strategies and natural food remedies for relieving morning sickness. And also go grab our free labor ebook on how to reduce pain in labor. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste to you and namaste to the babies. And I will see you next time. Bye.